Okay, we are live. I am doing this live, so I hope it is working correctly. We are doing a audit. I've done a couple of these. I've gotten some really good feedback from people that they love this format, and I want to experiment with going live. I'm definitely somebody who loves testing out different things in order to understand it. And so it's like before you tell somebody else to do it, I like to do it. So YouTube streaming is something that we are doing more of. And so just learning how to have the OBS up and doing it all, it's fun to kind of test it out. But I want to do one of these live again. I did one pre-recorded, one live, and I'm messing with my audio delay. So if it sounds good to you, please comment below. But what I'm doing is I'm reviewing a church's digital presence. The idea is that the same way as you take care of your physical presence as a church, you invest in landscaping and having a building and painting and keep upping, the game of it. Your digital presence is really important. And so I'm going to look at the church's website, their streaming experience, their social media, and then overall digital experiences. And I'll kind of explain it as I go. I haven't looked at anything at this church. This is kind of the first kind of pass, so don't feel, I'm literally fresh eyes. And these are people that have submitted this as a option for me to edit. And so the church, you might be able to hear in the background, my kids are playing outside, and I think my mic is picking it up. So I'm looking at New Life Church. And so one of the things I like to do is this is their website here. So here's the first section. So they have at the top here, we are live in 5 days, 11 hours, 13 minutes, and 32 seconds. I'm personally not a fan of these countdown deals. I think when it's so far away, it's kind of irrelevant. So I think it's better to have this, hide for most of the time. I thought it was pretty cool when online church was very popular. Life Church had this, and I think a lot of people kind of copied that. But obviously this probably goes to their church homepage. Yeah, this is their online church platform, their CHOP platform. I'm just not a big believer in this model anymore myself. I think it's cool on the weekend because it's most likely they're looking for experience, but when the experience is so far away, I think it's hard. Because look, you click away to this and then you get this video, 2-minute bumper video, and it's like, I gotta wait 7 more days or 5 more days to watch this. I think it's lame to show up. Think about it. You show up to a store and it says come back in 5 days. It's not really the greatest experience. But if you wanted to promote it on the weekend, I think it's cool. So I would consider removing this. Personally, that's a preference. This is cool. The last sermon, New Life here, service times. I think these are pretty basic things. People are helping connect with us. And then you have some current stuff. I mean, obviously this isn't a super fancy website. It's pretty old school kind of in the way it's set up, but it does its job. I know this is a very popular kind of, it feels like sometimes when you go to this design, it's kind of like the, I always think of it, it's like AARP's website, where you land on the homepage and everything is on the homepage. Look at that, man, so many subdomains. I hate now with Google when you try to search something, you get 1,000 ads. There's like 4 rows of ads, but you can kind of see this design. So I think the design itself is helpful and clear, but I don't think it's very modern. I would definitely keep the homepage to the most important things. I mean, my own church website can fall victim to this, so we're kind of in this, but everything's easy to find. You have a good footer here with everything, contact information. One of the things that I will tell you, and I would look at all church websites, I have no idea where you're located at right now. I know I can select on locations, but even locations, Deep Creek, Gent, Kempsville, Online Town Center, I have no idea where this is. So I think it's interesting, I have no idea what state you're in at a glance. So obviously if somebody's in your community, not a big deal. But I think overall it's kind of hard to know where you're located at first glance. So I have to click in on this, and it's going to tell me you're in Virginia. Okay, so now I know that. I think there is something about communicating very clearly where you're at a glance is super helpful. So, but yeah, I think the homepage is a little busy, a little much. It could, I like your design. I think this logo and this look is very clean. Yeah, looks like you got all the basic stuff. I always like our team pages. I think it always kind of communicates who you are. And it's cool too when you get email addresses. It's like kind of crazy. You know, I work at a big church, so that seems crazy. For sure, I think these could have, I like this photo. That's a really cool photo. So looking around, our values, our beliefs, get connected. Yeah, I mean, your website does quite a bit. So obviously it's a robust website. Let's see what happens if I click watch the sermon. Where does it bring me? Oh, so you're not using, oh, it is. These are always kind of cool. It's crazy because this is obviously like a media player that is keying a key with your YouTube channel. And I think this is a nice touch. But I like how you're using YouTube. You know, one of the things I think about is on your on-demand. So somebody's watching this later. You know, the idea is you have three audiences. You have people watching live, people watching, you know, live online, people watching, you know, live in the room, and people watching, you know, days, weeks, months later. I always think it's a miss not to have a response card on this. You know, it's probably talked about in the video, I hope. But I think it's important to maybe consider having some kind of next step information in this description. I think that's something missed in a lot of churches' kind of media pages, you know. Also to have filters. Let's see, you only have view all sermons. It might be nice to have like search by topic, search by series. That's something that like our church page is sometimes we don't do great out of my churches, and we need to do because people look, they want to take things in chunks. So this is a lot of content. Obviously I can probably search. Let's see if stuff is, yeah, you know. Oh man, I spelled that wrong, didn't I? That's pathetic. Look at that. Psalms? Why can't I spell Psalms right now? This is embarrassing. You ever like, oh yeah, okay. Okay, ignore that, please. Yeah, so like obviously the search, you know, something I would consider doing is upping the search game. Search on websites can be really rough. There's something called Elasticsearch that you can build into your website. That's pretty nice. I think it's definitely an underused, under-considered experience. But yeah, so I would think about the layout of this. Let's go to a subpage. Decrease. Yeah, see how this is nice. I mean, I don't know that's Virginia, but it looks like Virginia to me. You know what I mean? So I think photos do a lot to communicate where you're at. I like this. I like how you can contact the pastor, which is really cool. I always think this is a nice touch, especially on a multi-site type of strategy. It makes me feel very connected. I really like this page. This makes sense as a campus page. Small thing, obviously, I don't think it really matters, especially if you're a regional church. I don't know what time zone this is. I don't know why this is A. I'm used to AM, but maybe that's a stylistic choice. Prayer service is 6:30. That is a holy time. I like that. Yeah, so I like the images. I'm not a huge fan of like this, like these hero images still. I don't know what this communicates. I'm just looking at this, but I'm not clicking. But yeah, I mean, obviously not a super fancy website. I think it probably does what it needs to do, but I would think about some of those things. Okay, give. Let's see how good it is. Text to give, which is sweet. Let's look at this so I can give to a specific. Yep, this is a clean giving experience. I like this. So yeah, I want to click around on a couple other things. Let's invite. Join us online, don't forget. You're new here. Here's what's get connected. Okay. I'm not sure what this means. So get connected is ministries. Something we've been trying out as a church, we have a plan a visit that we've taken more seriously recently. And so we've actually, we have it set up where you plan a visit and it sends you a notification. It also text somebody at that campus so you can text with somebody. I think plan a visit or get connected. I think email is super impersonal. I still think it's important to have email strategies, but texting is really cool. I think obviously text giving over the last couple of years has been huge. So yeah, again, I like all the imagery. I like seeing people at your community. That's really cool. So yeah, sermons, media. I always personally struggle with what to call this. I think media is probably the right way, but obviously media can be a bad word because of kind of cable news type of experiences, but it is media. So obviously you have small group stuff. I always think the right now media type of tag, it feels like that belongs under like small group studies personally, but I also know it's right now media has a brand, so there's something valuable to that. But overall, really like it. I might just update the design, might take some stuff off your homepage. Generally, I think this is probably, I think there needs to be more invite. I like video kind of showing what your community is, make the call to actions. Service times, for example, there should be more of an invite, come attend us in person type of thing. I like the focus on this stuff, but it's a little bit of a dated design, but I get it. Okay, next, let's look at social media. My kids are very loud right now. They're playing with their friends. Okay, so let's look at Facebook. Okay, great. Oh, I like this. I like using emojis in posts, tagging. This is great. Yeah, look, you just have the P. That might be like a super hip way of talking about AM, PM that I do not know. Really nice photography. Man, a huge thing in social media and just generally your website is having a photography ministry where they can capture things and put it somewhere for your teams to use. I just know, that's something that like our own church has invested a lot of time in and be able to search and tag things. It's so important. I love our photography ministry. Obviously, you have a good following. And generally, it looks like you stream here, which is great. This is some good content. This is a great design. It doesn't look like you post very often to Facebook. It looks like you post every couple, maybe twice a week from your stream. Obviously, that's not that many, which might just be a reality. Really high quality. Obviously, whoever's doing the social media has an eye for design. I think the color, the design and everything aligns. Oh, I like this. This is cool. These thumbnail images, you can edit these. This is a nice touch. I think when you do this stuff on Instagram, you really stand out. I think you have a really clean look. I will for sure say overall, one of the things on Instagram that you have to be investing in is more reels. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of people have done this where you study the reach of reels. It's just so crazy. It takes more time to do them, especially learn how to do them. But like, look at this. Look at these plays, 423, and look at reels, 1,500. It's because Instagram is pouring, they want more people to watch reels. So if you post, I would definitely use reels. It's a no-brainer. I think the one thing that just stands out at a first glance is more conversations. Let's see if you don't have any stories. I think there's something about adding value and asking more questions, having more fun on social media, some more engaging stuff. So I would add like a question a week, maybe once a month. You ask, how can we be praying for you? Have a team ready to respond. I think obviously it looks good. Everything looks very clean. I'm not seeing people replying, so you might not have a ministry that's engaging there, but that's a key thing, having some people have access that know how to respond, more story stuff. Let's look at YouTube. You have a trailer, which is sweet. Yeah, so you got some good thumbnail images. One of the things I've noticed on YouTube recently that's becoming more popular, and this church is doing it, which I love, is these tags. So two things in the in here, you can do a table of contents and you can have chapters, which is really easy to do. But if you put a tag at the bottom or top, it will show up in the video like this. And I think those are very important. Obviously, I don't know how you can hack it, like how good these are. You might want to do more general, maybe one general tag and then two specific tags. I think really 3 are all that are displayed, but I really like this. Yeah, good descriptions. Let's see how regularly you are actually posting. Great, yeah, so you're live streaming, which is sweet. I like this header image, show everybody in your community. let's see. Yeah, so you have some playlists. I might do a playlist on, so worship, I guess that's probably what you have. So you might do like a weekend. I think one of the things I struggle with on this is somehow, let's see, how do you brand this? Like branding this as a worship service, I think is really important. Because I think culturally people outside the church don't really know what this is. So like calling it church, like this is your worship service, or is this, whatever you call it. Some people call it a gathering. But yeah, overall, really clean. I think YouTube obviously is a no-brainer, more time invested. One of the things we're trying to do as a church is trying to create more content specifically for YouTube. And then maybe we can slice and dice, like having a Q&A live where we're engaging people. But this is very clean. So I might invest a little bit more into maybe creating stuff out of this, but you guys are doing some really good work right now, I could tell. Okay, let's look at your service. I kind of did this out of order, but let's actually look online. So again, I feel like personally that one of the things, my daughter is literally outside screaming for no reason, just having fun. I really personally, for the worship service, I feel like people should be embedding their full stream here afterwards and not just doing a trailer. People are coming to this page to watch your service. So I would personally do that. I also think there's a case to be made to go away from the Church Online platform and just embed it on your website and have a YouTube stream. Something to wrestle through. I'm not saying it makes sense for everybody, but it's something to think about. I don't like coming here and being told to watch later. But let's go ahead and watch this on Facebook. So view our weekend guide. That's cool. So let's see, how long is this? Look at that. I like this. I like the countdown. Dana. This is sweet. I like the music in the background. Small thing, I might hold the mic a little lower. Dana, just a little bit lower. But she's great. She's got a great presence. I will say doing stuff live, I don't know if this is live. It looks like it might be live. I have found like it's hard doing stuff live, but she's killing it. I like how she's talking to people. I feel like it is a skill to learn how to talk to the camera, but she's clearly good at it. I love it. It's very personal. So yeah, like this is sweet. I mean, one of the small things I would say about this is the wide angle, and some of these shots are obviously, the camera is a nice camera, but it's struggling with the amount of light on the stage. So the audio sounds right. Like, I think this is one of the things, just as church of any size, how you capture something speaks a lot. I don't know why are we, I'm seeing captions on Facebook. I was like, why am I seeing double captions? But this is long term. One of the things is better lighting. Obviously he's white, and so it's going to be overly. He's going to come off overly white. But I think the lighting is very strong, and what looks good in the room, looks good online. Those are some of the struggles you have to look for. But I definitely think it's probably worth investing in down the road. Figuring out how to make that room look better. It looks very good right now, but I think a small thing, I think it could look better as you kind of grow. Like this shot, obviously I like that. I like how you're showing the whole room. I think it's important for context to show everything that's going on in the room. This shot, I might zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I really want to see the front of the stage, personally. But obviously you guys are doing some good stuff. I'm curious how this sounds. Sounds good. It's hard getting audio right for streaming. Oh, look at that. You guys rip. Oh, look at that, cutting in between the service. This has become more popular. to cut in. I think it makes the online product a lot better when you kind of specifically talk to those online, not just do a front end and an end piece. I really like this. I think this is a sweet idea. This is high quality. I mean, this is with a nice camera, I could tell. I like the blur in the background. I think it adds a lot. Yeah, this is sweet.
No, you don't need the handle.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Look at that. I love this angle. Seeing the thing in the back. So obviously somebody's hosting on the stage, and then you have this. This is a really cool touch. That's a hard angle to pull off. I want to steal this. I just love that. I love because this is taking two different timings, because you have the flow in the room, you have the flow online. And this can be difficult to kind of time this correctly. But I love this. I also like the idea of holding the iPhone, like kind of, hey, you know, it's very relatable. You know, that's an iPhone 12 or something. So small thing, like when you end the service, I might have a couple minutes of like a screen up with next step information instead of having a cold end. I can see in here, let's see, I don't like calling this like the service time, but like titling it on Facebook Live, you know, depending on how if you're using like Resi or something, titling it, you know, your church and naming it the sermon title. I don't like, because they already know what time it is. And it's only showing a different time because I'm in Pacific time zone. But I like this idea of having the Connect card. This is sweet. This is a good deal. Yeah, obviously a lot of comments, a lot of views. I'm curious how different it is on YouTube. Is it the same? Oh, it looks like. Oh, I love that. I love the pastor shouting out. That's really sweet. So it looks like you just do maybe you just stream. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing here. You may cut the stream because you can edit a live stream, so you might be cutting it later, or you're just streaming from a certain point. Not positive what you're doing, but yeah, I like that. Again, I think the thumbnail should say something about a worship service. If this isn't the full, I guess you can just do the message only. But yeah, I would just continue to invest in this. This is really cool. When you're doing stuff like this well, the other cool thing is it's something worth promoting with ads under the right circumstance. But this is sweet. I like this. Okay, last thing, digital experiences. I was just going to look at, you know, how people can engage you in a bunch of different ways. So digital experiences are ways for people to, you know, take deeper commitment. So the idea is that what's the chasm between visiting you online, seeing a service, to actually, my kids, neighbor now is involved in getting them all riled up. So the going from watching something, experiencing something, to actually attending in person. So are there experiences that people can kind of do more? So if I look around, so let's look at group life.
Hi, I'm Pastor Tina. And I'm Pastor Dana. We are so excited that you're interested believers. Regardless of your
This is
station in
sweet.
life.
This is very practical. Groups of all ages. Okay, I like that I can see all the groups. So this is sweet. Obviously, this is using, the back-end system, the Watchman group. So this is sweet. I like this. This is obviously working well. This is also working with your CRM kind of back-end system, but I like how that works. I like that you're asking people questions. I like that people can see, you know, I don't know if you do this in the video, but to see what a typical small group is, you don't. But this is still a great setup. This is a very cool video. Serve. So, marriage. Let's look at marriage. So the thought here is there a way that I can, the idea here is there some training or something that I can access right now, so I can see more how your ministry or your church cares about my ministry. It looks like I have to attend in person, which is okay. The same thing with ministry. Like, can I... Okay, so good.
We at New Life Church, we want to absolutely destroy and break apart what's...
That's cool. I like the use of video on these pages. I think it's very practical. But I think one of the things is, are there more things I can take and review to try out? You know, the example I have is like a Peloton. Like, you can take a Peloton class before I ever buy the Peloton. And the idea is I can experience it. So there might be a course or something, like a new members course, that maybe like 10 minutes of it is up online to kind of see what your church is about. Because right now all they can see before attending in person is a full worship service, read a bunch of stuff about the ministries, but is there something deeper, like a meet and greet or a history? I don't know. But yeah, so I think some more digital experiences could be helpful. I think like it might be cool to have like a marriage class or something, or a young families class, something to see that there's something more you're offering. So generally, I think this is probably, you know, better than average, everything you're doing. I'm really impressed by your video quality. I think that's something that you can up your game and more kind of engaging content. So those are some things I kind of see real quick, just initial kind of glance at stuff. I do feel like the website is solid, but I feel like you can clean up the homepage and kind of make it a little bit more of a modern design. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful. If you want your church to kind of get an audit, drop below your church's kind of website. I'm kind of maybe continue to do these depending on the response of this, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.